Hey everybody, welcome on 5 Plus, KSDK.com. We know you're tracking these storms tonight, and they're a noisy bunch of storms off to the east and south of St. Louis, in particular. Metro area, we saw them come through. Power outages, there are quite a few. We've got over 8,000 customers in St. Louis County without power, and the concentration of that seems to be in North St. Louis County. Go back into Franklin County, Warren County, Lincoln County, have some areas with some decent power outages, also now into Jefferson County. And then cross the river into Illinois, Jersey and Greene counties, Madison County, those three really are taking the numbers up as you go east. Also in there, Macoupin County. Madison County had about 6,000 customers without power. So that's where these storms are right now, and they are pressing on towards the east. So as they pass through, the severe weather threat comes to an end, but you're getting gusty winds with these storms as they are passing through. That's what's causing the scattered power outages, and that's what's causing all the problems. And that severe thunderstorm watch continues off to the east of St. Louis. And let's get into where the severe thunderstorm warnings are. You still got this one here that stretches over into Marion, Fayette County, southeastern portions of Bond County, most of Clinton County, and the northern portions of Washington County, Illinois. Still looking at some gusty winds along this line of storms right now. Let's just kind of put a scope on here for the winds, and anywhere you see bright shades of red inside that scope, and there's some right now right around Carlisle. That's indicative of your stronger winds. And it's in pockets. The entire line does not have intense winds along it. The storm's intense, and you got a lot of rain on there, but it's pockets where you're getting those stronger winds. It looks like one of those pockets is right over Carlisle Lake right now. So you do have the severe thunderstorm warning here, and this warning is in effect until 7:15, and just getting a new warning that is kind of extended onto the east and northeast from that, which includes the far northwest corner of Clay County, and then up in towards Effingham. So really a rough go from Vandalia over past St. Elmo to Effingham right now with those severe thunderstorms. So here's kind of the new warning, Clay and Effingham counties, that for the thunderstorms that are moving on through. So we got that part of the storm. We look on the southern part of it. The strongest winds seem to be right around Carlisle. It's still raining back into St. Louis right now. In New Baden, we just have a large tree that was snapped off at the ground. That's being reported from spotters there. We also have damage reports coming in from DeSoto with some large tree branches down across town. So numerous tree branches down there, which would lend itself to the situation with power outages going up. You go along this line, and you're still looking at some stronger winds from Vandalia through Kaskaskia, really down Highway 51 there, Patoka. Right at the leading edge when these storms come through, the winds get pretty doggone gusty. So then we've got the other storms that are down south. These don't look quite as intense, but we're also kind of getting a little farther away from the radar here. So maybe just kind of see if we can get a different vantage point on it from Paducah. Yeah, these storms are weakening. So the Weather Service and we can see that from both our radar perspectives. The outflow is already making its way over here into Perry County. So this warning is going to be allowed to expire, and it doesn't look like the winds are over 50, 55 miles per hour right now. So that storm's weakening. Still has a little spunk down towards the Scout base, Esparaf, but that's about where the strongest is, and it doesn't look overly impressive. Doesn't look severe really at this point, so they're going to let that warning expire there. But this is still looking pretty good here. This northern storm, that's the area to watch, stretching from Vandalia through Patoka down towards Carlisle Lake, and really the more intense winds here, you find those, let me put this in the wind mode, we find those really strong winds there just over the northeast corner of Clinton County. Really, this is over parts of Carlisle Lake, and that's moving up towards the northeast. So you get into the spot where you're getting farther out of the radar range, so you're not getting it. But if you're in Patoka, you know, this cluster of stronger winds here is going to try to push your way. So that's over on the Illinois side. Let's go in just a little bit closer so maybe we can get some of the local roads in there. Clement, Boulder, Kerrigan, Illinois. A lot of small towns, you know, we're over in farm country here on the Illinois side of the river. This is probably where your strongest winds are headed. Budd Road, Boulder Road, Diamond Springs Road, eastern portions, northeastern portions here of Clinton County, likely to be seeing 55 to 65 mile per hour winds as this storm is moving through. And you see it's kind of slowed its motion just a little bit here as it's pushing off towards the east and to the northeast. So all along that line, severe thunderstorm warning, and the main reason is for the intense winds associated with that. Now let's go a little farther back to the southwest here and into the metro area. We're still looking at rain around Metro St. Louis. We are concerned when we look back to the west, while the severe weather threat's over, there's still more showers back here to the north and west. And there's likely to be additional development, and some of the computer modeling that we've been looking at this afternoon is indicating the potential of seeing, another 3 or 4 inches of rain for some of us overnight, which we just really can't deal with that. Especially the areas that have seen all of the flooding recently. You get that kind of rain overnight. If it comes too fast and furious, it's going to be a problem. Lambert already had over 1.5 inches with the 2 cells that went over the airport earlier this afternoon. Now these cells are strengthening a little bit here in eastern portions and central portions of Randolph County, now pushing into Washington County, Illinois. These are not warned. They don't have a warning on them. But they are still intense. And these are the areas here east and southeast of St. Louis where we are looking still at that severe thunderstorm watch in effect. But it's been canceled for the Metro St. Louis. Basically, once you get behind the line of storms, you're pretty much done with the severe weather threat. Now, the flood threat's another story. And so let's talk about that for a minute. So the flood watch is in effect, and it's the potential for flash flooding. And that includes much of the area. Really, it includes all of Metro St. Louis and then down to the south and southwest of town. And that area southwest of town, this is a little bit of a concerning situation here because the area down here to the southwest of St. Louis, this terrain is much different than we saw over in Illinois here just, 36 hours ago, overnight, Monday night going into Tuesday. That's more flatter, more farm fields. This you get into much more hilly terrain, and while there are fields here, there's also a lot of forest. And if you get a lot of rain in the hilly terrain, then it tends to rush off and run off much more quickly, and that can create additional situations. So, we've had the situation where we've had flash flooding around St. Louis because you had the heavy rain that was unprecedented and coming down so fast and furious last week and falling over a highly urbanized area where most of it's going to run off and not soak into the ground. Then we had the heavy rain from early this week over on the Illinois side, just east of Effingham. But that still caused problems, but because it was over farm fields, it was to a lesser extent being over a lesser populated area than what you would see if that was all falling over, paved roads and parking lots. Now tonight, some of this heavy rain potentially could end up over the bi-state area, our part of the bi-state area, and the forecast, this is updated every hour. High resolution guidance is indicating 2 to 4, maybe 5 or 6 inches of rain possible for some of us, including in the metro area overnight tonight. So, at this point, this is just, it's a model, okay? It's model output, so, and it's raw model output. So there probably will be some places tonight that end up with 4 to 6 inches of rainfall. Will it be exactly where this says? Well, we don't know that for sure. But the problem is if that were to happen in St. Charles County or anywhere in the metro area where we've already had in the last week and a half some serious flooding issues, and we still have storm drains that are clogged with debris, and so all of those haven't been cleared out with everything from last week's floods, really from the floods a week ago on Tuesday, Monday night into Tuesday morning, and then the second round that we had on Thursday. So you've still got storm drains that are clogged. That's not going to help the situation either. So if we get that heavier rain and it comes, in an hour or 2 or 3 instead of spread out over 6 to 10 to 12 hours, we're going to have problems. So check your sump pumps. You know if you've had water problems. Basically, I think we all found out where our water problems lie in the last week with the amount of rainfall we had. But, check your gutters, make sure they're clean. That was a culprit in my house. One of the things, the gutters backed up, overflowed, and then you end up with water in the basement. Make sure your sump pump is working. Those kinds of things, those are the little things you can do. If you're in an area that normally floods, and maybe your car wasn't flooded out last time, but that's because you just didn't happen to be home and it normally floods, move it up the hill and walk a block or two. I mean, try to be proactive in this kind of thing because we just don't know what's going to happen here later tonight, to be honest with you. We got an idea, but we don't know the true specifics. So here's kind of the future cast of this, of what's going on right now and what's going to happen. We've got our thunderstorms off to the east and southeast of St. Louis. They'll nudge a little farther to the east. You'll see the first batch kind of sliding off. More development taking place over St. Louis through 11 midnight, heading into 1 and 2 o'clock tomorrow morning. Notice there are downpours in here through the overnight hours into early tomorrow morning. That's where we're going to pick up that heavier rain. And that continues through 6 to 7 o'clock or so tomorrow morning. And then eventually it is going to let up. So that's our concern for the overnight hours. Not so much severe weather, but the potential for flooding and flash flooding, especially given all the rain we had last week. So there's your radar right now. Immediate concern is for the potential of strong to severe thunderstorms here. And really, the area of greatest concern is what we're seeing here off to the east of St. Louis. That area that's been producing 50 to 60 mile per hour winds, perhaps, from Salem up to Kim-Mundy. You're about to get in on it. Centralia, too. Should see the winds just ahead of the heavy band of rain. And it's some torrential rain in there. So they've moved just east of Carlisle Lake, although you still got a lot of lightning across Carlisle Lake. And then that stretches up to the northeast. So the heaviest rain's coming to an end around Vandalia. You still have some in Greenville, but the heavier rain and the gusty winds, they've all shifted off to the east now. So northwestern Clay County, Effingham County, Fayette County, Marion County, and pretty much into the northeast portions of Clinton County. That's where we're looking at our severe thunderstorm threat here for about the next 15-20 minutes as we watch this line pushing on through. And then you got still some rain around the metro St. Louis area that's filling in. Won't be severe, but we'll definitely still have the chance of rain. Not sure they're going to get that ball game in over at Busch Stadium tonight, although just kind of look. Okay, so we're back. We're looking over at Busch Stadium. I guess when we go. Still delayed? Okay. So it's still a delayed game here once we slip over there. So that's where we are. The game is delayed at Busch Stadium. But, it's not severe weather. So that's the good news. So we're going to let you go here for right now. I think these severe thunderstorm warnings for our far eastern counties, they're not as intense, the storms aren't as they were earlier. Part of that's because we've had, we're past our peak heating. We made it to 98 today in St. Louis ahead of those storms. But they still pack a punch, and they still have some pretty good winds, especially right along the leading edge, which now is just coming in to Interstate 57. I tell you what, I'll kind of get you back over there full screen while I look up I'll just give you the numbers that I have, because I know some of you may be watching on the 5+ app here this afternoon because your power went out. And so let me see what I can tell you. I can tell you in the city there's only 32 customers without power, but St. Louis County, there's almost 8,600 customers without power, and many of the outages, not sure how I want to say that, would be over northern St. Louis County. In Warren County, you have 418 customers without power. Franklin County has 986. Jefferson County's right at 1,100. Washington County, Missouri is at 228. Reynolds County's at 54. Dent County at 180. And that, St. Francis and St. Genevieve, between the two, 53 customers without power in St. Francis, 30 in St. Genevieve. That's not bad. Now, the Illinois side, the numbers have grown off to the east of St. Louis and Fayette County up to 168. Clinton County with 144. St. Clair County only has 98 without power, which is pretty incredible considering the wind gusted to 62 miles per hour at Scott Air Force Base. Madison County has about 3,900 customers in Illinois without power. Macoupin County has 851. We get into Greene County, Illinois, 1,600 there, and 2,100 without power in Jersey County. So Greene and Jersey County really got hit a little harder earlier with that first wave of storms that was moving on through. So there's your warning off to the east of St. Louis right now. Again, approaching Interstate 57 and approaching Effingham. I think our severe weather threat is kind of winding down for St. Louis. We will transition as we head through late tonight into early tomorrow morning into a flooding threat, and especially a flash flooding threat. And we all know, I think all of us are concerned about that, especially after what we have seen over the course of the last week. What's happened not only in our area last week, more than once with the two events we had last week, but then you had Kentucky, and then we had the heavy rains Sunday night into Monday, or Monday night into Tuesday, off to the east of St. Louis there, just outside our viewing area for the most part, although you did get about 7 inches over in Clay County. But that's, I think we're all a little on edge when it comes to flooding right now. So we'll be monitoring that, and we'll have another update for you, I'm sure, a little later on this evening. We'll keep you updated as we go through the evening hours. So the severe weather threat, that's east and southeast of St. Louis for us now. New severe thunderstorm warning. This is for that storm that's down around Phelps County right now, so let's just zip there. Pulaski and Phelps County. In fact, this is going to be sliding south of 44 in Phelps County, but that does take it along 63 down through Edgar Springs. So that's your current situation there. That's the latest one. That'll run until 7:45. Again, any storm that can take advantage of the heat and humidity that exists out there this afternoon, which is all east and south of St. Louis, still has a potential of being pretty robust and producing some wind damage. But around the immediate metro area, the chances of severe weather have dropped off drastically, and we're just looking at some rain for the time being. So that's going to do it for us for now. We'll keep you updated here as we head through the evening, and in the meantime, stay safe. If you have power lines down in your neighborhood, stay away from those. We want you to stay safe going through the remainder of tonight.